Today I wanted to talk to you guys about how I built my wardrobe from in the last 5 or actually more than 5 years. So as you all know that I'm a very thrift friendly gal and I believe in sustainability. I try to thrift as much as I can, or I always am welcome to hand-me-downs, or I hand some down to some of my friends, my neighbors. I love the idea of owning a secondhand piece, because it's very, very high quality. So I try to invest in brands that are not fast fashion, whether it's for myself, my husband, my children. And that is something I would like to keep as a practice, because I'm biggest advocate for sustainability. And as I grow older and older, I have realized that my wardrobe has been so special in terms of what it means. And I actually own pieces that I love, and I have been wearing it for, at this point, the oldest piece in my wardrobe is probably from 10 years old, which I actually thrifted from, not thrifted, but like I bought. Back then I was not thrifting, but that time whenever I would visit Colaba or something after my college, I would buy it. But I would always gravitate towards things that I like. So I think that's where it comes from. So the first thing that I did was to cultivate the habit of course, back then social media was not so huge. Serving looks, eating it, whatever, was not like a thing. And because I come from a suburban Bombay part, but also like grew up in South Mumbai College, it gave me a mix of two worlds which were completely different. And I just started gravitating towards expressing my personality, and I started exploring. So there are things that I naturally gravitated towards. The thing about not shopping in a mall or not shopping in a display window of a shop is that you're not buying things that they want to sell you. When you go street shopping, you are gravitating towards things that you like. Similarly, you also, when you're thrifting, like for example here in the Netherlands, whenever I go thrifting, I'm not taking things that I am being sold to. I'm going through racks and racks and racks of clothes, and there may be a color pops, maybe a pattern pops, maybe a cut pops, maybe a fabric pops. So the first thing for me is, of course, the fabric. So I feel it. Do I feel nice in that fabric? So when I'm going through, and if I'm finding like, okay, yeah, this feels nice, then I take a look at it, then I look at the pattern. So it's more about how I feel the fabric, how the color looks on me. I like it on me? So of course trying it out. And sometimes I also go on Vinted, which is like this amazing secondhand app. I think you all know, I'll link it below. I think if you're living in Europe or UK, you know it for sure. And it's so nice to actually practice hand-me-downs or secondhand shopping, is that, like I said, you gravitate towards things. Sorry, I'm hoping I'm pregnant. You gravitate to things that you actually like. You end up buying and getting more value for buck. And because it's not from fast fashion, it's mostly of a very good quality. So for example, even my jackets or my shoes, most of the time I buy shoes from very, very good brands. For example, Doc Martens, Mista. It's expensive, but it's also giving me a lifetime worth of a value, because it's simply so high quality that you're not buying shoes every season and every year. You really know what you're investing into. So yes, investment pieces, I think that's the basis of building your wardrobe.